The earth moved under the feet of millions of people across the Northeast this morning as a mild earthquake hit the region. We have the latest. President Biden visiting the site of the Baltimore Bridge collapse. Hear what he had to say as he gets a tour of the damage. Facing tragedy daily, Eagle Pass first responders rescue drowning migrants in the Rio Grande River. For an inside look, we've got a first-hand account of the crisis. A surprising jobs report for March shows significant growth despite inflation. We'll have those numbers. A life-changing classical Chinese dance performance. That's what New York audiences are saying about New York-based Shen Yun Performing Arts. Find out what is so moving. And in France, 20th century haute couture fashion is on display in Paris. We'll take a look at the highlights. Welcome to NTD Newsroom. I'm Stephania Cox. A rare occurrence happening today. An earthquake struck the New York City region this morning. According to U.S. Geological Survey, the tremors shook buildings and surprised people across the area. As you can see in this video, the 4.8 magnitude earthquake hit around 10:30 a.m. this morning. The epicenter was recorded just 45 miles west of New York City, near White House, New Jersey. So far, there are no reports of anyone hurt or any serious damages. Flights in and out of the New York City area were delayed as airport runways were checked for cracks. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says the city is ready to assist if necessary.
Earthquakes don't happen every day in New York, so this can be extremely traumatic. The number of texts, calls, and inquiries that people sent out to not only our administration, but to family members checking on them. We know how this can impact you. But we're ready for the unexpected. This is New York City, and we respond accordingly. We will continue to update New Yorkers as we get more information.
And New York Governor Kathy Hochul said the state will be reviewing all potentially vulnerable infrastructure. Tremors were felt by people in Baltimore, Philadelphia, Connecticut, and more than 200 miles away near the Massachusetts-New Hampshire border. Social media users have been posting videos of the earthquake moments. NTD's Andrew Thomas has more on that.
Video footage from Jersey City showed a cat scrambling down from a coffee table when the shaking started. In Far Rockaway, Queens, a man filming a TikTok video paused mid-sentence when his camera frame began to tremble. More footage captured an alarmed guitarist recording a song in Bridgewater, New Jersey. A coffee shop 30 minutes north in Boonton caught reactions from customers and staff. The Empire State Building's X account and others on social media poked fun at the event. While there were no immediate reports of serious damage, officials were checking bridges and other major infrastructure. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
And for on-the-ground reactions to the tremor, NTD's David Lamb spoke to people in New York City. Take a look.
I'm here in New York City, which is about 45 miles east of the epicenter of the earthquake. Now, I spoke to some folks and they said some people felt it, some didn't, but here are their reactions. What was it like when the earthquake hit?
Well, I was upstairs working, listening to my Will Smith CD, and then all of a sudden, my foreman said, "Do you feel that?" I'm like, "Feel what?" Because we're working construction. Usually this thing's moving, people vibrating, and we didn't feel it. And then all of a sudden I started getting text messages from people in South Carolina.
It was the sound and it was just a shake, not like that anything was moving, but it was just kind of shaking. Nothing fell down, nothing moved, it was just shaking.
What was happening? We also got an alert like an hour later, which was so stupid because the earthquake already happened.
I was sitting on the sofa and the whole wall bent, quivered, and I went with it. And I actually thought it was like a trolley going past the room or something.
I was just wondering what happened. We didn't really realize, because it's very strange. You never feel earthquakes in New Jersey. I never felt before, so it was very strange for us.
I mean, the temperature seems to change. It got a little bit windy and a little bit colder. Oh, really? Yeah, it was much calmer this morning, like 7 o'clock when I started.
The lights were shaking and the screen was shaking. We were shaking. Yeah, it was really pretty strong.
Stay safe, stay inside, hide under a desk if there's an earthquake.
President Biden talked to the media briefly about the earthquake this afternoon before boarding Marine One.
With regard to the earthquake, I spoke to the governor. He thinks everything's under control. He's not too concerned about it. The governor of New Jersey, so things are all right.
He was departing the White House to visit the site of the Baltimore Bridge collapse. He's set to meet with state and local officials and take a tour of the wreckage there. Biden is also expected to meet with some of the family of the 6 construction workers who died after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. Since the accident, crews have been working to remove portions of the bridge. And flying immigrants into the United States. This controversial program by the Biden administration has come under scrutiny all week long. Today, it's facing even more backlash. NTD's Arian Pazdar has the latest update.
Attorneys general from 20 different states, together with an organization called America First Legal, are now suing the Biden administration. That's over a parole program which allows immigrants to fly directly into the United States. The states had already sued over this program a few months ago, but the court dismissed the case. The states now filed a motion to reconsider this decision and pick the case up again. Since last fall, over 380,000 migrants flew directly into the U.S. America First Legal points out that people in parole status are immediately given work permits and are entitled to basically every kind of welfare benefit after being present for 5 years. And the capital of Wisconsin allegedly took $700,000 from a COVID relief fund and allocated it towards illegal immigrants. The discovery was made by the Institute for Reforming Government, which points out that hardworking Wisconsin taxpayers deserve to know how their money is being spent. A Republican state senator is now demanding more answers from the city of Madison. Arian Pastar, NTD News.
And in the small Texas border town of Eagle Pass, Fire Chief Manuel Mello III and his team of 52 first responders face the daily tragedy of rescuing or recovering drowned illegal immigrants. Epoch Times reporter Janice Heisel recently visited Eagle Pass, where she had a chance to speak with Chief Mello. He recounted the somber reality of rescuing people trying to cross the Rio Grande. She joins us now with more. Janice, great to see you. You've been down to Eagle Pass and you've spoken with the fire chief there. What challenges do they face there every day?
This fire chief's interview with me was one of the most unforgettable I've ever had. This man really opened up about the tragedies that his crews face every single day. Many times they will have 3 or 4 body recoveries, unfortunately, some of them involving children as young as 2 months old. And this is so difficult for these men, even though, they know going into this job that they're going to be facing some very difficult situations involving people who are sick, injured, or even dead. But they are getting this in spades full. They are seeing far more tragedies than the average fire department ever would.
Yeah, and in your article, Chief Mello discussed a time when 1,500 people crossed the Rio Grande simultaneously on the same day, including many families with children. How did these people manage to cross that river?
Well, a lot of times they just luck out and they happen to be walking across a sandbar. But sometimes what happens is, unfortunately, these people, they don't know the contours of the river. They don't understand that the river may be only knee deep in some places, but then suddenly they will drop 15 feet into that water. And if they have a backpack strapped to them, children literally strapped to them, these people stand very little chance of survival if they happen to just not be lucky enough to make it across at one of those parts that remain shallow the whole way across.
It's tragic. So based on your interactions with the fire department personnel in Eagle Pass, what do they most need or want right now?
The chief was telling me one of the biggest things that he's looking for would be help for these firefighters. He's hoping to get a grant that would help provide some counseling for these young first responders, who a lot of them have children the ages of the, unfortunately, victims they're fishing out of this river. But above all, the chief said he really would like to see this practice just discouraged and stopped as much as possible.
All right, Epoch Times reporter Janice Heisel, great to speak with you again.
Thank you.
And we have updates from the Israel-Hamas war next. The Israeli military just dismissed 2 officers for their roles in the drone strikes that killed 7 aid workers in Gaza. The military also reprimanded 3 other officers. According to the military's own investigation, the officers mishandled critical information and violated the Army's rules of engagement. The investigation found that a colonel had authorized the drone strikes on the convoy based on an observation by another officer that someone in the convoy was armed. Audience members in New York are touched by Shen Yun Performing Arts. They call it a performance that speaks directly to your soul. Let's hear what theatergoers at the Lincoln Center had to say about why it's so moving.
Shen Yun Performing Arts brought audiences in New York City on a journey through ancient China at the David H. Koch Theater at Lincoln Center yesterday. Audience members applauded Shen Yun's artistry.
The colors were magnificent, the dancing was beyond belief, the athleticism was just mind-blowing.
It is absolutely phenomenal. You can see the hearts of the performers in every single performance, and the spirituality just speaks to me so greatly, so deeply. It connects everyone, and I think that's one of the things I love most about Shen Yun.
Shen Yun's mission is to revive 5,000 years of traditional Chinese culture and showcase that through classical Chinese dance and music. Theatergoers expressed their appreciation and were touched by their efforts.
To see kindness displayed so artistically, so beautifully, it just displays what the world needs right now. And yeah, it was like an expression just straight from the heart.
I feel renewed. I have faith now that I didn't have before.
A flawless performance, flawless technique. There was everything was just so in sync, and I'm also happy to see so many new things and new ideas, especially in terms of pictures that they create on stage.
Through story-based dance, Shen Yun brings ancient values to the stage. Audience members expressed their gratitude to the artist and encourage everyone to see.
Thank you for bringing the show. Thank you for bringing the show to the United States and to opening up our eyes.
I've seen a lot of shows, a lot of things here I've never seen before, so it's definitely a must-watch if you have Shen Yun come into your town or nearby.
You have to go to Shen Yun. It's going to speak to you in ways that you can't even begin to understand. It's not like going to your traditional Broadway show. It's not like watching, something on television. This is something that speaks directly to your soul, and you'll come out changed. You'll feel great.
Shen Yun will be performing at the David H. Koch Theater at Lincoln Center in New York City until April 14th. NTD News, New York City.
When we come back, the March jobs report shows a significant jump in the number of positions available. NTD's Don Ma will have the numbers coming up in the business report. One of those industries seeking workers are the plumber trades. We'll talk with the plumbers union leader who says there are a number of career opportunities available. In Paris, an exhibition features haute couture pieces from the 20th century, showcasing unique dresses that defined their time. NTD's France correspondent brings us there after the break.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, ride your bike.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, smile big and bright.
Thousands of kids just like me are happy every day.
And it's all because of generous people like you who support Shriners Hospitals for Children every month.
All you have to do is call the number on your screen or go online to loveshriners.org right now with your monthly gift.
Because of people like you, Shriners Hospitals for Children is able to make an everyday miracle happen for kids like me.
If you're happy and you know it, dance around. If you're happy and you know it, play a song.
If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, take a shot.
And when you call or go online right now to donate $19 a month or more, we'll send you this adorable
Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of all the smiles you're bringing to kids' faces every day.
Will today be the day you send your love to the rescue?
When you call the number on your screen right now and give as little as $19 a month, just 63 cents a day, you'll be making a life-changing difference for a child, just like Sarah.
Your monthly gift today could change your life forever.
Because of you.
We are happy and we know it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please call or go online right now to give. If operators are busy, please wait patiently or go to loveshriners.org right away.
When I drink it, the first thing was I feel the warmth in my tummy. It's kind of like gently radiating out, a kind of a very comforting warmth. And it was really good, actually. I felt much better. I did feel, actually, an effect. And I find that it is actually better when I take it regularly.
It's actually steamed and dried 9 times. And so it's really, the essence is really extracted.
Then the second time, I tried it really like on an empty stomach and just 2 teaspoons of it and over a few times. And wow, that was a big difference because suddenly I could feel, wow, I was very good energized. I didn't have to eat. I could work outside in the garden for a couple of hours and I still felt very well. And I was impressed by that. So I think it's a good product.
The closely watched jobs report released earlier today is beating expectations. Here's NTD's Don Ma with today's business brief.
And thank you very much, Steph. We're just talking about the big jobs report today. So March jobs came in hot and job growth remains plentiful at American businesses. It looks like the U.S. economy added 303,000 positions last month, and the unemployment rate fell to 3.8%. This is according to the latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So the total far surpasses economists' expectations. They had projected a net gain of just around 200,000 jobs for the month. U.S. employers hired far more workers than expected last month while raising wages as well. And this is potentially suggesting that economy ending the first quarter on solid ground and potentially delaying anticipated interest rate cuts from the U.S. Federal Reserve this year. Now, average hourly earnings rose 0.3% in March. The annual increase in wages slowed to a still high of 4.1% in March. And let me just point out, wage growth in the 3% to 3.5% range is seen as consistent with the Fed's 2% inflation target. Unemployment rate, as I mentioned earlier, 3.8% last month. It has remained below the 4% threshold for 26 straight months now. This is the longest such stretch since the late 1960s. Now, the strength in payrolls has not been replicated in the smaller and volatile household survey. By the way, just for your information here, Steph, there are 2 surveys within this one jobs report. There's the establishment survey and the household survey. And the household survey is from which the jobless rate is derived. Economists attributed the divergence between the 2 surveys to an increase in labor supply through immigration that is not yet being captured in the household survey. The Congressional Budget Office recently upgraded its immigration estimates for 2023 to 3.3 million from 1 million. The BLS uses census population estimates and will likely update the population flows in its annual benchmark revision next year. All right, that's all from me today. Steph, back to you.
Don, thank you. Next up, we all take plumbing for granted until something goes wrong. New data shows the country is dealing with a serious shortage of plumbers. NTD's Daniel Monahan speaks with a plumbing union leader about what's behind that and what can be done to fix it.
Ed Bigley is the business manager for the Pittsburgh Plumbers Union Local 27. He says the organization has been serving the region since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution in the 1870s. Bigley says plumbing was a career that propelled generations of young people into the American dream of owning a home. But that all started to change in the 1980s when he says high school guidance counselors began pushing those with logic and math skills away from trades and towards college instead. And the trend continues to worsen today.
I think a lot of less people are getting into the career. There's less trade schools in high school. A lot of less high school kids are getting involved in the trades.
Bigley says the baby boomer effect also plays a role in the shortage.
We have a lot of members, key members that are foremen, superintendents, CAD draftsmen, things like that, that are retiring or are able to retire at any minute.
The National Kitchen and Bath Association estimates that around 60,000 plumbers retire every year, with only 30,000 new apprentices entering the profession annually. While the National Association of Home Builders reported 3 years back, there was a 55% shortfall in the number of plumbers available for work. Bigley says there are a lot of avenues you can follow in plumbing.
Here you could be a CAD draftsman where you're drawing the blueprints, an estimator where you're estimating the job before it's bid, a project manager where you're managing the job, and even an owner.
It's a plus if you're pretty good at basic math and algebra.
Not afraid to get their hands dirty, not afraid to be out in the cold in the winter, and not afraid to be out in the heat in the summer. Also, a lot of it is high elevations or in a ditch.
The union business manager discusses how the plumbing union is trying to combat the shortage.
I think getting to them in the high school, while they're still in school, getting trade classes back in school, in their actual high school where they're not leaving their school to go to another building, but actually staying with their classmates. Maybe give them an exposure to a few different trades or a lot of different trades and let them see which one that they are most interested in.
A licensed plumber, according to Bigley, is what stands between people and safe drinking water. The union business manager says the work plumbers do cuts down on disease and has a major impact on people's lives. Daniel Monahan, NTD News.
And in Paris, an exhibition features haute couture pieces made throughout the 20th century. It showcases unique dresses that marked their time, highlighting fashion through the decades. NTD's France correspondent David Vives has those details.
Prestigious auction house Bonham's Cornet de Saint-Cyr, just a stone throw away from the iconic Champs-Élysées, opens its doors to showcase 530 exceptional couture pieces. It displays a journey through French fashion history from 1910 to 2010, from Coco Chanel's timeless creations to the elegance of Dior. It showcases the evolution of style in fashion designers' creations, such as this piece by Coco Chanel from 1937.
This piece has the particularity being made in lace with tulle on several overlays and bows, and is probably one of the first pieces to exist strapless.
The birth of haute couture at the beginning of the 20th century emphasized new standards for fashion. In the first decades, the new pieces of clothing emphasized the silhouette of women better.
Until the 1910s, women wore robe-longs, mainly with a corset system, a tight waist and a narrow waist. The corset was then removed and the women regained their natural, harmonious shape, with couturiers dressing them in the silhouette.
Haute couture has very high standards. All materials used must be top quality, Fellbach says. Only 16 fashion designers have this label in France.
All these models have to be completely handmade, except for the essential frame, which is machine-stitched. But all the finishing touches are done by hand. All the over-threading, all the hemming, all the button fastening, all done by hand.
The exhibition will last until the auction on April 8th. David Vives, NTD News, Paris.
Thank you for watching NTD Newsroom. I'm Stephanie Cox. Have a nice weekend.